Alright, what's up guys? So to finish off our keyframes section and our keyframes lectures of the actual Adobe Premiere Pro Masterclass, I'm going to be adding a exercise now here at the end where I'm going to work through this sequence and overall create it from just 3 long boring clips and a song to a nice sequence, and I'm going to be focusing on how to actually create this boring 3 clips into a very cool, entertaining, much quicker sequence than like the 3 minutes or the 2 minutes it already is. And I'm going to be massively improving this sequence via and using keyframes. And basically, we're going to be jumping straight into it. So, first off, I want to actually reposition some of these clips. So the 3 clips are one of me testing out my, all the clips are of me testing out a glide cam. And, one of them is me from the front coming over to the sea or the kind of river. The next one is me from the back. And then the third one is the actual footage of what you see on my camera while I was recording this process as well. So I want to start, ideally, right, with this shot of me right here. And then kind of chop to this shot of, or actually I probably want to start with my shot of me up here, then chop to my shot of actually showing the water, then chop to me behind here. But overall, let's just go ahead and jump into creating this. So first off, I'm going to actually go ahead and chop up this first clip to where I'd want to start it. And I probably want to start it when I'm taking this first step right here. So I'm going to go ahead and just chop that down and bring that over to here. So if I give this a play, this is how it's going to be starting out. Okay, it's interesting, definitely. So right here with this build-up right here, okay, I want to obviously not have just boring, stale, nothing going on. I want the song to be building up to that drop right there. So I'll open this up so we can see that drop a little bit better, but that drop is that one right there. So just before this drop, I want it to be 0 decibels. Then on the beginning right here, obviously I'm going to add a keyframe to tell that. Then on the beginning of this one right here, I want that to be minus 35 decibels because that's quite low, and that's building up now as you listen to this. This is actually creating a nice build up. Okay, nice. Very nice indeed. So if we listen to this again, creating a nice build up, slowly coming to the drop, and then it drops. See, now I want to replicate that same thing, but with the opacity of this image here. So I want to create a keyframe right there on about 5 seconds, come to the beginning, and put that opacity to 0. So that is a build up now to 100. And it's slowly building up, and then it drops. And on that drop right there, I think on that drop is a perfect excuse, okay, is a perfect excuse to then bring in this clip here, which is, hold on, let me just go ahead and highlight all of these, right-click, unlink, and just go ahead and delete the audio layers of them because we don't really need the audio for this at all. We could then drag that up to the next layer. But on that drop, I want to bring in this particular clip here, and this is actually going to be the camera view of what's going on screen. So I need to actually chop this in because I know this doesn't fully start until about the middle, about right here, before I actually start the movement. Yep, I believe that's the movement right there. So I'm just trying to line this up correctly. I'm going to go ahead and give that a chop, and I'm going to bring this over here to where this beat drops right here. I'm going to go to about here. Okay, right there. And what I'm actually going to do for this particular shot right here is I'm actually going to have this shot. I could just bring the opacity up. However, I think I'm going to have kind of like a flying in shot. Okay, so I need to have this on the second beat. This is already flown in. So I'm going to put a scale animation, toggle animation on the scale, aka creating a keyframe right there. Then I'm going to come to the beginning and just go ahead and make the scale right here 2000. So it's going to actually zoom mad quick just like that. And if we give this a play right now, it is going to be building up of me walking, building up, and then it's going to drop just like that. Okay, so let's go back here, tweak this a little bit actually. That's a little bit too slow for my liking. I think if I bring that over, just give that a play. Okay, that's very cool. And I could even do the opacity when it actually gets there on 100, yep, and then the opacity on the beginning on 0, so that this is a nice fade in, and it looks like it kind of slams in just like that. And in fact, on the build up to here, I want to create it at this point to be 50. However, on the beginning, I want to make that 100, okay? So this is actually going to look like it's zooming out of me, coming closer, and then smashing on with the actual view of what's going on in front of my camera and not focused on me. And in fact, I can actually smash that shot on right there and leave that playing for a sec. And then on that next beat here, where it's actually a practical beat to change up the clip, we could actually bring in this number 2 right here, which is going to be the shot of me from behind, and actually just go ahead and click on this number 3, go ahead and switch that back to effect controls, and actually just go ahead, come over here, and go ahead and copy paste that particular animation right there by just highlighting everything and copy pasting it, and then clicking here, which is where we're going to want to transition out, and just Control Ving that after we Control C to copy and then Control V to paste. And now we just have to actually just readjust this a little bit. So for example, let me just zoom in right in on these keyframes. What we need to do is take that keyframe, put it here, and basically just switch these around. So let's throw that one to the side and that one to the side. Go ahead and bring that here and bring that here, and then just try put those as a similar position as we had before. So this is now going to do the opposite effect, and it's going to zoom in. So if we look at this now, in fact, we might have to just bring these out a little bit so it's a little bit better. If we just go ahead and bring these out even a little bit more and just go ahead and put a cut right here. If we play this now, this should zoom in and then zoom out to this next clip of me from behind. So that zooms in very nicely. And that zooms in extremely nicely, except we need to cut this second clip to a place where it actually would make sense for me to be at this point. So I would probably be over here, stepping quite close, because you see our footage was obviously pretty close up, so it looks like I'm not going to be all the way back here. I'm going to be pretty close right here, so I might get that step movement, you see, where I'm just stepping to that next rock, and I'm actually just going to go ahead and cut that there, go ahead and bring that underneath here, so it's going to look like a nice transition. And in fact, when that zooms out real quick, we could actually be now zooming into this right here, okay? So in fact, I'm going to actually create a scale keyframe, drag that to the beginning, and create 100 on this one that I'm on right now. So it's a gradual zoom in now on me right here. And in fact, I'm going to actually keep bringing this in for a little bit longer, probably to over at about here, maybe even just a bit before. Drop that there, and we can actually just go ahead and give this a play from the beginning. If I just go ahead and render the ins and render into out, see what we're looking at within this sequence right here. And overall, I think there's no denying it, right? That this was a very basic sequence, and overall, just via the use of a couple few keyframes here and there, just via the clip dimensions, the opacity, and also the decibels for the track, we're creating a much more interactive, overall consuming and attention-grabbing sequence. As you can see right here, it's me walking with the glide cam right here, and then it's going to smash into this clip where you could see this amazing river going on right here. Then it's going to zoom out just like that and be zooming into me just like that. And in fact, we can go here and maybe just start bringing this out now. So in fact, we could go to about here, just so it's a little bit in, add a keyframe at 100 opacity, come here to where it's ending. Just go ahead and put that on 0. Go ahead and chop that out, and just go ahead and do the same thing here, where we could actually go to lineup, where that would be. Actually add a keyframe here, go to the end, and actually just add that to -35, so it comes in on the same place that we left it on, or that we began it on. And then if we go ahead and put that out point there, go ahead and render in and out, we're going to be taking a look at an extremely amplified and leveled up sequence to the one we originally were looking at, aka those 3 clips. So here we go. Very nice so far. Extremely nice. In fact, the only thing I might do is add a little bit more movement to that middle shot, but overall it's looking very cool, very nice, much more entertaining sequence than it was before. The only thing I want to do for this particular one is maybe add a little bit of movement, but actually I reckon it's all right. We'll give that one more play, and I reckon we are done with our keyframe section of the Adobe Premiere Pro Masterclass. On screen right now, this is looking like an extremely nice example. We've done a pretty cool transition at the beginning and the end of that as well, using keyframes, and overall this is a very, very amplified sequence. Let me just let it roll through one more time, and then we'll be moving on with the Adobe Premiere Pro Masterclass.